Are you ready? Or more importantly, is your spice rack ready? And welcome back to Cliffy Land. This is Week in Country number 163 on our second attempt at cooking the food of every single country in the world. And tonight we're up to the nation of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, an island nation located in the Indian Ocean off the southeastern coast of India, is a beautiful and fascinating country. It has a delicious cuisine which is influenced by the cuisines of southern India as well as Southeast Asia. It features a lot of great spices. I mean, you're really going to use all the spices in your house. Not to mention the fact that Sri Lanka is known for the world's most delicious version of cinnamon. Now, there are lots of great dishes in Sri Lanka. There are lots of different curries and a lot of things using fish and chicken, as well as locally grown fruits and vegetables. And of course, you're going to find lots of dishes involving coconut, which is widely found in Sri Lanka, as well as teas and coffees for which the nation is known. Now, we had to deal with this all when we cooked this last time around, so let's take a look and see how things went when we tried things then. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I got to cook and stream across 2 nights, and I was really eager to do this country because I know it's really delicious and I really want to impress a friend of mine who is Sri Lankan, and I really want to know what he thought about it. In any case, on the first night I made one curry, which was really delicious. It was very interesting, and it used roti, which is flatbread, and in this particular Sri Lankan version, the roti has coconut in it. You'll see that in a second. But I wound up using store-bought roti because I kind of ran out of time. And the roti was chopped up and used in the dish, and that was really nice, but that's not the one that we're doing tonight. Because what we're doing tonight is what we did on the second night, because on that night I made my own fresh, homemade coconut roti, which was delicious, and I had the contrast of the one in the store and actually liked mine better, which is really weird. And I served that with a very interesting dish, which is a Sri Lankan style coconut chicken curry with cashews. Now, the reason I say interesting is because this specific recipe, and remember, these aren't my recipes, links are always in the about section, and you'll find this one here too as well. This recipe didn't seem to match a specific Sri Lankan dish, but rather it used a lot of ingredients and styles of a Sri Lankan dish. But what it did add was one thing which is very not Sri Lankan, and they even said it in the recipe. They added parsnips, which are very not Sri Lankan at all. I wound up using the parsnips in that because either A, I didn't know any better, B, I wanted to see how it went, or C, I felt I needed a starch. In any case, we're not going to do that this time. We're not including the parsnips because I don't need that noise. But the whole thing was really delicious. I'm looking forward to doing it again. That being said, we need to look and see what go into tonight's 2 items.
First, for our coconut chicken curry with cashews, we'll need 2 pounds of skinless, boneless chicken thighs cut into 3-inch chunks, salt and pepper to taste, 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, 2 teaspoons of grated garlic, 1/4 teaspoon of whole cloves, 1/4 teaspoon of fennel seeds, 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom seeds, 1/4 teaspoon of allspice berries, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1/4 teaspoon of coriander seeds, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, 1/4 season of cayenne or more to taste, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 3/4 of a cup of raw cashews, 1/4 cup of frozen shredded coconut thawed, 2 tablespoons of ghee, coconut oil or vegetable oil, we're using ghee here, 1.5 cups of finely diced onion, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 1 2-inch piece of cinnamon stick, 3 cups of chicken broth or water, 1 cup of thick coconut milk, also known as coconut cream, and a few sprigs of mint and cilantro for garnish optionally. And then for our coconut roti, we'll need 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of frozen shredded coconut thawed, and roughly about half a cup of water as needed.
That looks really good. This house is going to smell amazing. We need to get cooking.
Season the chicken generously with salt and pepper, and put it in a mixing bowl. Then to the bowl add ginger and garlic, and massage it into the meat. Then in a dry skillet over medium heat, place the cloves, fennel, cardamom, allspice, cumin, and coriander, and toast until fragrant about 2 minutes. Place the toasted spices in an electric spice grinder and grind to a fine powder. and add it to the chicken. Then add the cayenne, turmeric, and lemon juice, and mix it well. And let marinate at room temperature for at least 15 minutes or refrigerate for up to 1 hour. Heat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and then put the cashews on a baking sheet and roast until lightly browned, about 8 to 10 minutes. Remove from the sheet and set aside to cool. Spread the shredded coconut on the baking sheet and toast it until lightly browned, about 5 minutes or probably more. Remove from the sheet and set aside to cool. Then into a spice grinder place the toasted coconut and a 1/4 cup of the cashews. Grind to make a rough powder, reserving a 1/2 cup of the roasted cashews for garnish. Then, in a wide, heavy-bottom pot, heat the ghee over medium-high heat. Add the chicken pieces to the pot and stir occasionally until lightly browned, about 5 minutes. Then remove the chicken and set it aside. Then to the pot add the onions and cook until softened, about 5 minutes. Then add the tomato paste and let it sizzle with the onions for a minute or two. Then add the broth and the coconut cream and bring to a brisk simmer, stirring with a wooden spoon and scraping up any caramelized bits from the pot. Then add the cinnamon stick, the chicken, and then add the ground coconut and cashew mixture. Adjust the heat to a gentle simmer, cover and cook for about 30 minutes until the chicken is tender. In a large bowl, place the shredded coconut and the flour and combine, rubbing with your fingers together to break up any clumps. Mix with water until a smooth, soft ball forms. Shape into small balls and coat each one lightly with canola oil. Let rest for 20 minutes or as long as you need. When ready to cook, flatten each ball of dough with the palm of your hands to form discs and cook on a lightly oiled pan over medium, turning once. The surface of the roti should be dotted with dark brown sunspots. Keep them warm in a basket covered with a cloth until serving. Serve the curry in bowls, dress with reserved cashews and the cilantro and mint leaves, wipe plates and serve with the roti alongside.
How'd that all go? Well, it was great. It was fragrant. It was aromatic. It's any other thing you can find in your thesaurus because it was that good. But let's start off with that roti. The roti was really very basic, very, very simple. Maybe I don't think I had it completely flat on both sides because I didn't get those sunspots on both sides. And I don't know really quite how well it cooked in the middle. So they were a little bit on the dense side, and maybe I don't know exactly why. So either that's the way it's supposed to be because I think that's sort of what they were like last time, or maybe I did something wrong. If you know more about it and want to give me helpful tips, please let me know in the comments. But it was really nice. I'm going to give those 3 out of 5 globes. Really basic. I mean, really only 2 ingredients to speak of. But let's get to that curry. That was superb. It was so delicate and fragrant, and it had that nice bit of heat from the cayenne. It had all those great flavors from the ginger and the garlic and all those spices, and the chicken was nice and tender. I wound up making a basmati rice alongside, and I served it alongside, and I wound up putting it in the dish because in Southeast Asian restaurants, normally I'll see the rice served that way, so I figured that kind of made sense. And it was really, really delicious. In fact, we were supposed to have enough servings for 2 people's leftovers, and one of us ain't having leftovers because ain't so much of it now. That's how good it was. So I'm going to give that one 5 out of 5 globes. A fantastic, fantastic dish. Try it yourself. And if you want to try something that's really not Sri Lankan, go ahead, add the parsnips. You know, no one's gonna tell. So that does it for this bit right here in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Next week we paddle west to get back to Africa to have the really delicious food of Sudan. See you then. And remember, if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, please be sure to follow us on Periscope. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like and subscribe if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, and be sure to hit that bell to get those notifications. Remember, links to the original recipes can be found in the About section. If you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food we're eating, please be sure to sound off in the comments. Thanks for watching and happy eating!